Hello and welcome to the first tutorial in the Paint.net series that I'm making. This is the overview of the UI, the user interface. Now, I'm not going to get too specific into each little button and give you a list of all the different functions and things that happen, in a huge textbook or anything like that. I think the best way to learn this program is to learn as you go. Use the functions as you go and as you're going through these projects that I'll be showing you how to do. Okay, so first and foremost, you'll notice it's very similar to most of your Microsoft programs. Up here in this menu, these tabs up here, you've got obviously File, which is new, Open, Save, Save As, so on and so forth. Edit, it's all about copying and pasting into new levels, new layers, if you will. And we'll get into the importance of layers later on, but again, nothing really out of the ordinary here. The View tab, this allows you to kind of affect your overall view. You've got certain things here, like you can zoom in and zoom out, but I usually use the tool for that anyway. You can also see here, you've got pixel grid and rulers, right? So you can see with a pixel grid, it gives you a grid across your screen. Some people like that. There are some upside and some downside to that. And then there's also the ruler. You can see here, I've got my ruler up. You can notice there's actually a list of different increments across the screen, so you can see how many pixels you're using, the size of your picture. It's important to know exactly how much resolution you can expand your picture out to without making it look smudgy. So that tool helps you there. It also gives you measurements. And then you've got the Image tab right here. Okay, this gives you the ability to affect the entire image all at once. If you want to flip vertically, you want to flip horizontally, you want to rotate, you can do this manually, but this gives you a nice, clean, easy way to do an entire image, which is nice. Okay, next you've got layers. This controls your layers, which again, we'll talk about that later on. Now, layers are one of the most important features in this program, and you'll see why, shortly. Then you've got adjustments. This is more or less for your Photoshops. I don't do a lot of Photoshopping. I use this program for drawing, for cartooning, for that sort of a thing. So, again, this is important. It's a very nice feature. I do Photoshop from time to time. It's a lot of fun, and I can fix my own photos, which is great. But these are some of the features here for that. And then lastly is effects. Effects are things like blurring, scattering colors in different ways. One of the best features I think here are your ability to create these kinds of images and really manipulate what you're doing so that it really comes out. You can use some of these features to really make your pictures really pop. It's awesome, okay? So again, we'll get into that later on. This is just the basic introduction, okay? Below that, you'll see you've got some of the basic functions and features that you're probably mostly going to use, right? So here I can turn on and off my ruler. So my ruler's on and off. I can turn on and off my grid, which you can't really see up close right now. But if you were to zoom in, you'd see a grid coming on and off when I hit that. And then below that, you've got the selections that will, kind of affect the output of the tool that you're using, okay? And we'll talk about that now, which is also when we go over here. On this right-hand side of the screen, you'll see there is a couple different buttons here. I think these are some of the most important features, right? Number one is your toolbar, right? So I click that little hammer, it brings this guy up, right? And this has all the different features: the selection feature, the lasso feature, the magic wand feature, which is a special selection tool. You can fill with different colors, all these different things you can do. You can draw, whatever. So this is, if you're familiar with Microsoft Paint, you're probably familiar with what this toolbar is and how it works. So nothing major, nothing out of the ordinary, but it's your basic starting point, okay? Then you've got layer control. If you click this turns on your layers. This allows you to add layers to your picture. This is kind of like when you add a layer of tracing paper on top of an image. You draw something, you can move that top image around. It's super important, but there's a lot of really cool things you can do with layers that really make a huge difference in how your picture is going to come out and the stuff that you can do with it. Okay, you've got over here, which is your color bar, right? Your color control. Now it's nice, you've got your standard set of colors, plus you can select any individual color you want here, which is nice, but this is difficult to use. I always like to use the More button. And this way I can control, not only do I get more colors on the bottom here, but I can also control how dark the color is, I control how transparent that color is, I can shift it a little bit here and there. It's an excellent tool, and I usually get the color I want by using it this way. So that's really, an important piece. The last button that I want to talk to you about today is right up here. This is called the History. I don't particularly use this History button all that much, but when I do, it's kind of cool. You can see everything that I just did. So to do what I just did here, where I changed the color and selected different tools and drew this little S thing, everything has been recorded. Okay, so if I want to undo, I do have unlimited undos, but instead of hitting undo 1,000 times or 5 or 6 times, I can go back here and I can just go like that. Boom. And now it's undone everything for me. So it gives me a complete history of all the steps I've taken, which is nice. Okay, because I can go back to any point in time and sort of reload it. It's kind of like a safety save on a computer, a safe point. In any event, those are the basic functions. I will be starting off with a little bit more on how to draw and how to use the tools in the next module. But just for your overall layout of how this system works, that's Paint.net.